Second down and 7 from the 43 of Riverside. Again, handoff to Wilson. Fights through a hole and a punishing blow at the 36-yard line. But finally able to be taken to the turf is Devontae Wilson with the tackle. That'll be a gain of 5.
Yeah, now it's 3rd and 1, but I wouldn't doubt RCC in this situation, a team that tends to step up in the big situation. Right here, another big situation. Let's see if Riverside is able to hold them on this 3rd down conversion.
Well, the play clock is down to 9. Substitution has taken an eternity for Fullerton to get organized. Play clock down to 3. A mad scramble at the line of scrimmage, and Fullerton will burn their first charge timeout of the half, and that is oh so critical here with 8:56 to go.
If I was Fullerton, I wouldn't have called timeout. Riverside had 13 players from what I counted on the field. Yeah, I would have snapped it and got that automatic first down. A mistake over on the Fullerton sideline there.
Because that substitution was far less than what they expected.
I mean, everybody was substituting, both Fullerton and Riverside, and it seemed like 2 brand new teams were coming in and out.
Well, a nice little sweet revenge for Tom Kraft. I know it's not over, but he is well on his way to another victory against Fullerton College. He was 0 for 2 last year against the Hornets, but 22-6 partner midway through the 3rd is not half bad here against the team that had your number last year.
Technically still in it, Fullerton is, but with this type of a lead and this type of a defense and an offense that's finally clicking, chances are greater on the Riverside side.
Well, Riverside could have more cases going their ways. They have 11 men on the field here, Dan, and
the perfect amount.
Are forced into a 3rd down and 2 from the 36-yard line. Here goes Fullerton. A goal line set, 0 wide receivers. Hand off to Khalil Wilson, and he gets stopped. May have been able to run ahead to the first down. Terrence Solomon is kicking at himself as, yes, he's a little bit short. 4th down in inches.
Well, this one will depend on the spot of the ball. The officials are going to determine this outcome. I think they're going to have to measure this one. And they will.
Chains will trot onto the field here.
Hey, if I'm Fullerton, I'm going for it. I need some type of a play that'll give us a spark. If I'm Fullerton again, I say.
Well, the run and the pass have both been inefficient, as it looks like they're just a little bit short. I have absolutely no idea why the crowd is cheering here, but 4th down, both the run and the pass have failed you if you're Fullerton. Only 6 points on the scoreboard in a peculiar situation coming up.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what the chains say.
Even if it's 4th down and an entire yard there, Dan, I think it's still makeable.
It definitely is. I mean,
the chain signal
is 6'3". He's tall enough. He's big enough.
4th down. 4th and 1.
Yeah, it'll be 4th and 1.
Vernay, 6'3". That's 210 pounds for that young man.
He's big enough. I'd like to see him punch it in.
He does have 3 fumbles this year, though. He has been far from efficient carrying the football this year. But that offensive line, about as big as it gets in the JuCo world, they'll attempt to push that Riverside defense back. It's a battle of powers between Fullerton's high-scoring offense and Riverside's stifling, suffocating home defense, who have only given up 9 points in a little over 12 quarters defensively against opponents at Wheelock Stadium. 4th and short in a goal line package. Khalil Watson dots the I. Penalty flag and a false start. That'll end it. Yeah, that'll kill their drive. 4th and 6 now, and they'll have to send on the punting unit.
Yeah, that's a lack of discipline right there. I'm totally upset if I'm the Fullerton sideline. A dumb penalty in a crucial situation. You're already struggling on first downs. You're 1 of 8. On 3rd downs, you're 1 of 8. And now you're
now 1 of 9 following that other 3rd down.
You're absolutely right,
attempt.
Nick. Yeah, and this is uncalled for if you're Fullerton. You're behind in the game. You're supposed to catch up, and this is just bad play.
It's been a bonanza against your Fullerton Hornets. 4th down and 5, and Vernay will still be out on the field. Their quarterback is looking to go for it. Play clock down to 2, down to 1, calling for the snap. Back to throw, has it in time, looking long, and a man is open, but over the head of Markish. No. That'll be incomplete. And I feel like Tigers force the 4 and out defensively.
Yeah, I feel like that receiver had that ball, and he just saw that safety coming in hard, and I think fear was a case right there.
Yeah, if I were a receiver, I would slow down as well. If I had a 100-mile-an-hour fastball and it's not the football, it's
hey, didn't you play wide receiver?
I did, and it didn't. Didn't exactly work out.
So you were one of those guys that heard the footsteps from that safety coming in.
I was one of the guys that never got a chance to hear the footsteps.
Okay.
Denzel Foster in the Wildcat. He'll get the call and is able off a cloud of dust to reach the 42-yard line and gain to 3. And at least that's more snaps than you had at receiver, Dan.
That's true. I mean, I played tight end, so
you did.
I was a blocking specialist. I never got a catch. I was totally in there for the run game.
For the run game. And would you be happy with how Denzel Foster's run today? Officially over 100 yards.
Hey, if I was blocking for him, definitely be happy.
Foster again breaks loose to the 40. Still on his feet, 35. Angles towards the sideline and slips over his own 2 feet. How funny. At the 38-yard line. As number 4 gashes for 19 and a Riverside first down. Move the chains.
It is funny how he just slips on his own feet because it's not going to be Fullerton stopping him tonight. Officially over 150 yards on the ground. And as he continues to run that Wildcat offense to perfection right there.
Yeah, that is interesting that you call that, Dan. I mean, this is a ball club that against Fullerton and really against anybody in the state, the only team that's going to stop Riverside is themselves. When everything is on point, this is a ball club that can score at will as Riverside leads 22-6 against the number 3 team in Southern California, and they're taking it to these Fullerton Hornets, a team that beat them twice last season.
I mean, Fullerton's nothing to be reckoned with. I mean, the first game against Ventura, 29-10. Against Mount Sac, a loss, 34-10. Cerritos, 24-21. So it's a team that's got
3 straight victories.
Yeah, so it's a team that's formidable, like I said.
4-1. And 6:33 to go in the third as King fires at the end zone. Going for Walker, leaping grab, and he's got it for the touchdown.
Oh, no. Just a bonehead
Just when
play.
you thought, yeah, this is a hometown crowd that's getting about sick and tired of these penalties. Matthew Parrott's the sophomore out of Ukaipa, guilty party. That'll be a 10-yard loss. Jamel Walker, that would have been his first receiving touchdown of the season, Dan.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it was a deep pass. It's an intermediate pass, a 32-yard, what would have been a 32-yard touchdown.
What a beauty by Nick.
Yes, finally. That
deep ball worked.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And unfortunately, Big 78 was
sorry, I'm stealing your fire, Dan, but
hey,
so did
continue.
that penalty. That penalty stole Nick King's fire. Now a second down and 15 from their own 38-yard line. King fires deep for Whitney, and he's got it. Move the chains. A pickup of 21 for the highly touted receiver. Catch number 7 for Whitney. Now, if we add all the numbers together, Dan, 27 catches, over 400 yards in almost half a season for Isaac Whitney.
That King
Amazing.
to Whitney combination sort of reminds me of the pro match.
Looks like Brady to Moss. It really does.
Why not?
It looks like Manning to Marvin Harrison. It's about as beautiful as it gets. 1st and 10, King. He's going to Walker again in the end zone. Held all over, and he's got it. Touchdown, Tigers. A 19-yard score. King will sprint to his receiver. He hauls it in for 6.
How about that? Jermel Walker with the jump ball catch in the end zone. Wow, impressive there. King with the nice touch there. Just a perfectly placed ball right there, Nick.
What's amazing is that Riverside got caught with the holding penalty, but it didn't even matter as Nick King answers on a 2-play drive. Jermel Walker, his first catching touchdown of the season, and the extra point is good. 29-6. It's becoming a blowout here in Wheelock Stadium. Now, if you add all the numbers together, Dan, in 7.5 quarters of football here at home, actually add week number 1, if you will, in nearly 12 quarters of football for the Riverside Tigers here at Wheelock Stadium. Forget your erratic play on the road. If you're here at home, it's about as easy as it gets for these Tigers. 0 allowed touchdowns by that Riverside defense. Adding all the numbers together, and you have yourself about as dominant of a home team as ever. Yeah. As Riverside has scored 111 points to their opponent's 12 here at Wheelock Stadium.
home field advantage does take its toll for the team on the road.
Only at Wheelock.
Only at Wheelock when you've got a stadium this big, and it's almost sold out.
Week.
I would say it's almost sold out tonight. A Fullerton away crowd that didn't show up tonight, really.
Well, it's funny here, Dan, as Camacho is able to kick this one through the end zone. They'll end up taking a knee about 8 yards deep. Both Riverside's cheerleaders and Fullerton's cheerleaders are on our home side. I think they made the correct decision.
They joined the dark side over here.
I think Fullerton's the dark side.
Okay.
As last year against those Hornets, Riverside in a 38-36 loss. I spoke to Tom Kraft a couple weeks ago about that defeat, and he mentioned that there was a touchdown that Fullerton had to end the game that their receiver stepped out of bounds before scoring the touchdown, kind of like Antonio Brown did. I don't know if you remember last year for the Steelers. He stepped out of bounds, yet they still called it a touchdown. I still thought Tom Kraft was a little ridiculous for saying that. A loss is a loss, as Vernay's incomplete. 2nd and 10. 5:56 to go, 29-6 Tigers on top. But I love a coach that recently, following the Grossmont loss, I talked to him, and don't even discount the fact that he had laryngitis following the loss. You got to believe that this guy was hard at work following a disappointing L against the Griffins.
Yeah, I'm surprised you even got a interview out of him with his voice nearly being non-existent.
Couldn't even hear him. Really couldn't even hear him. Laryngitis is an almost, and that'll be a penalty against Riverside, another pass interference. But laryngitis can get the best out of anybody. But he's able to overcome the loss to Grossmont, and this has been about as impressive of a 2-week span between any team in the JuCo world as I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, an instant turnaround, a 180. You're headed in one direction with Helinski, and then you make a right turn, and you go with Isaac Whitney, a guy who's...
Nicholas King.
Yeah, excuse me.
Sorry, some sort of problems here. Getting that fixed as soon as we can. Give us just a moment here. Yeah, there we are. We're good to go. Awesome. It's great to know that I didn't even have to do that.
All right, we're back on the air.
Riverside hasn't allowed a single touchdown in 2 weeks offensively. Of course, I mentioned that, and it almost seems like whenever you state a streak like that, it always seems to be broken. But I hope for the Riverside case that they don't, as Fullerton operates from their own 27 to start the drive. Vernay, a play action, fires to the near-hand side and has his man Jermel Moss across the 45, and he's elbowed out of bounds at the 49-yard line of the Tigers. For number 2, that'll be a catch for 22, move the chains for the Hornets.
We see small spurts of good play by the Fullerton team, but then all of a sudden they stop themselves, sort of like what Riverside tends to do.
Yeah, that was a little too easy there, Dan.
Yeah.
The penalty was able to refresh the downs for Fullerton, and they took advantage, at least on that play. 1st and 10 right at midfield. Vernay looking deep, slips over his own 2 feet, pass rush coming, and he's able to throw that one just in the nick of time. 2nd and 10 off the incompletion.
Wow, that play was going to be a disaster with Vernay slipping in the pocket, manages to throw the ball away as he's being tackled.
He was so lucky that wasn't an intentional grounding. It would have been 2nd and 20 instead of 2nd and 10. Vernay's been effective helping out his offensive line. I believe Riverside only has 1 sack today. Devontae Wilson, the lone man to get to the quarterback. 2nd and 10, that is right at midfield. Vernay operates with a 4-wide set, scrambles to the right-hand side. Pass rush coming, fires over the middle. Incomplete, another flag. That'll be pass interference, and no debating that against Trayvon Watson. Wow, I mean, the penalties continue to pile up as usual. This crowd doesn't like it at all. Doesn't like the call, and doesn't like the ineffective play in the penalty department by the Tigers. I wonder if the penalties at one point in the playoffs will cost a game for Riverside. Oh, penalties will never. All state championship teams don't have this penalty issue, but But if there is a dominant of a defense as any in the junior college football ranks, it would be Riverside. Scratch the penalties, scratch the ineffective play, and that bonehead Brock Carr